Ford. Greetings. We're here to honor monuments and not discuss ruins. Monuments versus ruins is a case of honor and respect. This is Annabelle Ford, and I'm here with,
And Cynthia Ellis Topsy.
and we are going to talk about how to honor the legacies that we live with today.
Yes, and we are acknowledging, appreciating, and celebrating the wealth untold that is possible for overcoming many of the challenges that we face globally.
Yes, when we call monuments, when we call ruins that should be monuments, when we call milpas slash and burn, those terms hold power and can either be disregard and disrespectful or be something that honors. And we advocate honor and respect.
We know that through nature, we learn how to nurture and therefore give ourselves the opportunity to address many of the problems that are being put in front of us, and such as issues related to climate change and food sovereignty.
Yeah, and the milpa cycle is a regenerative process of land use that uses trees, bushes, and smaller plants and food to reduce temperature, maintain biodiversity, conserve water, build fertility, and reduce erosion, things that we need every day. And that cycle, you can see it goes from short term annuals that we eat to long term perennials that we can use for food.
So we can learn from the gifts that we have been given, the treasures from the ancient Maya, that we have everything that we need to function effectively and sustainably in our world today.
Yes, these heroes are doing their practices and regenerative cycle, sustainable cycle, all the while provisioning their family and caring for our earth.
So, as we are changing the narrative and being responsible in bringing forth a succession strategy for the new generation, this can become a part of our curriculum and different ways of knowing, different ways of being, different ways of stepping into providing food in a manner that is healthy and that is sustainable.
So we're going to move to a video now and get back to you in a moment.
Of the world's ancient civilizations, the Maya stand out as one of the most impressive and mysterious. By the year 1000 AD, most of the Maya city centers in the Yucatan were being neglected. Left behind were huge pyramids, intricate works of art, and a complex written language. Oddly, these great achievements were soon forgotten by the Maya themselves. But why were the cities abandoned in the first place? Maya farmer Alfonso Sul explains that even the Maya today don't know the answer.
Well, one of the things that I realized is that when we were going to school, they used to tell us that the Mayas used to live in this country and then they disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to them. So we were not able to connect ourselves with the present civilizations that are visible with the various ancient monuments that are left in Belize. So one day I met a fellow from the US, I think, and he was looking at the ancient monuments in my farm. And he said, wow, what a wonderful work. He said, I wonder where those Mayas went to. I said, they didn't go anywhere. What do you mean? No, they didn't go anywhere. Where they are? So I told him, you are talking to one of them. We were not taught about the history of our people. It was in my adult age that I managed to read all these things about the Mayas, and I'm able to connect them with myself.
Many have claimed that the ancient Maya degraded their land, resulting in an environmental collapse. This is not likely, says archaeologist Annabelle Ford, who in 1983 found the ancient city of El Pilar in western Belize. in the vicinity of the crumbled city, Dr. Ford and her team discovered that 90% of the trees were species that were useful to the Maya in some way. 20 species were particularly dominant.
We were able to come up with these 20 dominant plants that were all useful, all important for construction, for medicine, for thatching, for production, for fruit, for gum, even for the birds, even for the animals, are counted among important uses that the Maya have. As we started considering the nature and identifying the trees, we realized that this was a forest garden, and in fact the Maya were gardening the forest. Now we're looking at the relic. It's a legacy of probably 8 millennia of selection and certainly 4 millennia of fairly intense use.
And so the Maya and their ancestors were being selective in their use of plants during thousands of years of trial and error. Another breakthrough came when Dr. Ford saw how contemporary Maya farmers near El Pilar were growing their crops. It was not in the Western style of large fields of single items like corn or beans, but rather in small mixed crop plots called milpas. Furthermore, the Maya were using a sophisticated and sustainable cycle of planting that left most of their land in forest. Here's how the cycle works. In preparation for planting, the milpa farmer cuts and burns a piece of his forest. Fire is a necessary part of the cycle that returns microelements to the soil in the form of charcoal. Next, the farmer plants corn seeds among the tree stumps. And among the corn plants, he sows beans, squash, and as many as 90 other kinds of annual crop plants. He does this for about 4 years, and no plow touches his soil. Master farmer Narciso Torres uses only a sharp pole, and because Narciso's soil is not plowed, it never washes away when it rains. Furthermore, the milpa farmer uses no chemical fertilizers, pesticides, or herbicides. Nearby, streams run clear and unpolluted. To the untrained eye, the milpa doesn't look clean and organized in the way of Western monoculture.
But in fact, it's retaining water, building fertility, biodiversity of the soil. It has the worms and the charcoal. All of those things are right in there, and they're kept there. They're not moving around. Alfonso Sewell says very, very poignantly to me when I was talking one time, I've never seen a milpa where there's erosion, and I've never seen a plowed field that doesn't.
Victor Chambor, a Lacandon Maya farmer from the Mexican state of Chiapas, also has vast knowledge refined through the countless generations of his ancestors. He is particularly proud of a large stretch of rainforest near his milpa. He knows every plant in the forest and what things he can use there. 4 years into the milpa cycle, seeds drifting in from the surrounding forest have sprouted into young trees in Narciso's milpa. He keeps the ones that are useful to him and eliminates the others. Narciso continues to sow his annual crop plants for another 4 years. By then, the young forest trees are beginning to cast too much shade for corn or beans, so he initiates the cycle elsewhere by burning another plot of forest. The new forest, with its many products, will be as important to Narciso as his milpa. It will grow and mature for the final 12 years of the cycle and will become a place for abundant wildlife.
There's this image of slash and burn being really destructive, and the image that comes from our European position that to get more product you have to clear more land, and that means all land is cleared. The milpa system is a cycle. At any one time, they'll have a minimum of 2/3 of the land in forest.
And that is a critical point. Dr. Ford has concluded that if the Maya used the highly sustainable milpa cycle in ancient times, it's not likely that they deforested the land and degraded their environment. Instead, we need to look at other social, economic, and political causes for the collapse of great cities. The Maya farmers lived on, and with neither pyramids to build or kings to support, they continued to perfect this high-yield milpa cycle through hundreds of generations of hard work and accumulated knowledge. The milpa cycle may be their most important achievement and their greatest gift to the future of mankind. But in this modern era where agriculture is increasingly mechanized, will this tremendous knowledge be lost?
There are fewer and fewer of these master forest gardeners, like Victor, like Narciso, like Alfonso. These people carry a knowledge that is a 8,000-year experimental practice. Can you imagine? And to not include them in a sustainable future when they can really step up and help, and they're ready to help. We need them. And if these people are not here for us, we can never find out that the kinds of things they know that have been this long experiment. The sustainability of the Maya Forest Garden is unparalleled. We're back in that marvelous video that really says you're talking to one. And as we're talking to one, we wonder, how are we honoring our ancient Maya?
The example that the Maya set for us is that we honor nature, we begin to have a deeper way of honoring each other, learning from each other across the globe. And these resources are available to us readily through the Maya Forest Garden.
As we consider ancient monuments as testimony to the Maya success, and with the milpa as a regenerative cycle of select and grow that is really addressing the impacts of climate change, we can see we can explore solutions past by recognizing the significance and engaging all of humanity, right, Cynthia?
Yes, certainly. The monuments give us a reminder of the results of our exploration for the present and for the future. And it's a very exciting time to live in where we can embrace the opportunities and seek peace as the plants, the animals, and nature show us how to nurture.
Yeah, this is the knowledge and practice that can only be followed in the footsteps of a practitioner of the Maya Forest Garden. And it is found locally and holds promise and is clearly the wealth untold, providing, approving, in fact, that under the shade we flourish.
That is why we are telling it, and we are very proud and appreciative of these treasures in the Americas. And our language has to be about monuments and not ruins because we are not ruined, we are flourishing.
Thank you so much.